What's up, guys? Thanks for joining us today. It's Thursday, I think. Yeah, I think it's Thursday. For our weekly check-in with Jeff. I'm Jeff, and this is Dusty here. And thank you for joining us. We're gonna get rolling. I want to check in again. Part of our purpose in this, we want to see how you're doing. Give a little interaction here. Two, we want to make you laugh a little bit. Want to have some moments, a little bit of levity. And then we want to point you to the Scripture and to God, and inform you with whatever things we have going on as far as our church community. And so, Dusty, before we just move forward, how's your week going?
Man, it's been really, really good. I think that this week we're starting to feel it a little bit more. Now everything's setting in, and you're like, oh, this is normal. I have to say, shout out to my wife. I mean, we're trying to find a way to balance this. I mean, she's on a new task force for her job. That's because of the CARE Act that's going out. Her job is doing a lot with that as an accountant. So she's holding down the fort for her team, and so she's having to put in a lot of hours. And so, I mean, it's been me trying to run around and make sure that I don't have the kid jumping in her Zoom meetings. Rayleigh decided it was a good time to go, the bathroom right there next to her Zoom meeting. So that was fun. So I mean, that's been our life, right? Like, how do we keep our kids out of the Zoom calls?
That's funny. I mean, you do on some of you that are connected with certain family ministry stuff. I know you do Wednesday night Zoom call with students. You do a Tuesday night Zoom call with college students.
Young adults.
You do a Sunday night Zoom call with parents.
Yep.
So you're like the Zoom master, basically.
I should I should claim that Zoom master.
I will say this. He definitely has a lot of tricks, a lot of things, a lot of capacity and potential in his Zoom account on what he can pull off on a regular basis. I'm pretty awful at it, and So, but what any highlights, lowlights? I mean, for the week.
I think highlights of the week have just been. I think honestly, as much as it might be a high or a low, is the fact that we're settling. That we're actually starting to feel like this is a rhythm, which is it could be a high, it could also be a low. So it depends on how you want to look at it.
I would say for us, a highlight it is nice that we're all home. And I think we actually probably did better the first couple weeks. We've got to try to rein in a rhythm a little better at this point. I think a low light, tough struggle is rhythms, which we've talked about. I'm staying up later than I normally do, and I don't know why necessarily, but it's happening. And so that affects my mornings and affects my day. So that would definitely be something I'm still do not have a handle on yet. So let us know if you're out there. What's a highlight for your week? What's struggle, low light? What kind of challenges maybe are you facing this week? And I would say, what are you thankful for? I mean, I think throughout all of this, I think the simple things of being grateful have really surfaced for me. And I was talking to somebody this last week, and they were saying, I hope and I pray that as we transition out of this season, whatever the new normal looks like, that some of these learnings will stick. We just won't kind of try to go back to some of our defaults that maybe were unhealthy or a little bit off-centered. So I'm hoping for that too, because I do think you realize food on the table, shelter, family, relationships.
I saw something on Instagram that just said basically it was talking about if you don't come out of this time of quarantine with some new grasp on life or a new side hustle. But I saw it, I was because the punchline, man, we got to tie this back to God. It was if you don't come out of this with a better relationship with your family and God, you never had a time issue. You had a discipline issue.
Yeah.
And I was whew, that was hard to hear.
Yeah, I mean, guilty as charged, and I know I've heard over the years many times in ministry of, just don't have time. Just don't have time. We definitely have time, and the margin is there. It's what are we doing with the margin that we have? Well, hey, we're gonna transition. If you're there, let us know. We want to hear from you. I know some of you are shy. Don't be shy on Facebook. You can say hi, little hand raise.
Throw an emoji out.
Yeah, throw an emoji out there.
Prayer hands. Those are always you can always go with those.
Halo. You got the halo. Whatever.
Tell us the highlight of tell us the highs and lows of your week through emojis.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Emojis or gifts.
There you go. Appropriate, obviously. We're sharing this.
Oh my goodness, I love gifts, but I won't even go into that. Memes and gifts.
But we will go to memes.
Yeah, we will go to memes here. Now is our weekly installment of Dusty and Jeff's favorite memes and
highlights.
Oh yeah, and I will say again, we said this last week. If you have one, share it. I know Facebook sometimes is a little harder to share stuff from your phone, but anyway, we'd love to hear from you. So far so good. The internet is still providing us with plenty of memes.
Great content.
Yeah, great content. So I'll let you take this one, Dusty.
Yeah, here we go. Oh, this is my life. So this is me dying laughing at my own jokes. My wife questioning why she married me. This is like the us in a nutshell, and this is the look I get 90%.
I will say, I have became funnier in my own home to myself more than I ever have during all this. Here's one that I found I love. It's I used to spend the toilet paper roll like I was on the Wheel of Fortune. Now I turn it like I'm cracking the safe. You're like, okay, let's be a little smart, a good steward here. No, that's great. I'm not sure. Is toilet paper returned to the stores?
I have not. It's not been looking good.
Okay, good.
My wife went out the other day. It was not.
It was still not. Okay, very good. Here we go, Dusty. This one's yours.
Yes. People in quarantine watching their bird feeders like these facial expressions. I saw this one. I saw this one on an Instagram story, and underneath it I've cropped out. It said, "It's like they know my life." Because there's nothing else to watch. There's no sport. If you go to ESPN right now.
No, I watched axe throwing the other day.
Did you?
Axe throwing.
I watched like stone skipping. Like on water.
No way.
Yes.
It was not really.
On the Ocho.
No, it wasn't.
It was. I watched it. It's pretty bad.
I watched that axe throwing because I felt like it may be live, even though it wasn't. But, it's like, okay.
Give me something live, yes.
Oh my gosh.
The most live thing, guys, get a bird feeder. Watch.
The struggle's real because I'll be honest, watching the 2002, whether it's Super Bowl or, I just can't do it.
I know the ending.
Yeah. So. Here's one I found, and this is real too. Nobody making fun of ramen noodles now. If you went to the store, what in the world? Yeah. Where did they go? Yes. We're trying to get a few, hey, umbrella of grace, and you take your eyes of judgment somewhere else off of me. But I need some filler meals for my kids, and every time I go, I'm like, what in the world?
Yeah.
So. Here's another one that I found. Instead of going to Starbucks, I made coffee at home, yelled out my name wrong, and set $5 on fire. Hey, Starbucks, we love you, by the way. So I will say, in my house, we've been we're saving money on coffee, and I love that because hey, I know that you think to spell Jeff with a G, but it's not. That's not how you spell. I'm not the giraffe off of Toys R Us, right? And but no, that's great.
Every time I do the voice to text, it always spells Jeff with a G. I have to go back and change it every time.
All right, last but not least.
Yes.
So you see, it turns out my top 3 hobbies are eating at restaurants, going to non-essential businesses, and touching my.
Did I send you this one? I did. It's just on my face because you read it, you're like, oh.
Oh goodness.
Who would have thought touching your face was a hobby? But now,
a lot of touching my face.
Sometimes I watch these playbacks and count how many times we.
Well, no, when you watch, like if you're watching the news or anything, now you're like, golly, man, where are they? They're all over their face. What's wrong with them?
Yeah, it's so weird.
So if you're there, send us your memes, your favorite memes, or if you want to send them to our email or post them on our Facebook pages and say, hey, this deserves a spot. And
that would be fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll take some off of either your post, or if you send them to us directly, we'd love to have your stuff up.
No, that'd be
give you the shout out on the memes.
Yes, we will do that. Coming from
you fill in the blank.
Yeah. Send us those memes. Well, every part, at least at some point during our weekly check-in, we'd like to have a moment just to kind of turn to God's Word and really just look at the Scripture and have it, honestly, do our best to have a moment together. This is about as good as we can do as far as, connecting through Bible study, without, with our social distance that we are observing. So this week I'm gonna toss it to Dusty, and he's gonna lead us. I think we're gonna be in the Book of James.
So if you have your Bibles or a YouVersion or however you're reading the Bible in today's world, we're gonna go to James 1, 2-4. We're gonna go to all the way to verse 8. But I want to start with this 2-4. So it says this. It says, "Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy." It doesn't make sense, but he writes it that way. "For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow. For your endurance is fully developed when you are perfect and complete, needing nothing." Something that I love in these 3 verses. I don't love the fact that I think when I've said this to Jeff before we started this, like some people I feel like don't make it through the book of James because they know how James starts. The whole idea of counting it a joy to suffer is not something I usually sign up for. Suffering, can I get a helping of that, please?
Yeah.
And I think this is relevant today, and I don't know, we know some of your situations. We see some of the prayer requests, that we've been praying for certain families in our church, and I think that this is a suffering in some way. I mean, we have high school kids who are counting it as suffering not to be able to, like, their senior years. They're not going to get a prom. Like, they're not going to get that graduation. They're not going to get everything that they've expected. There's weddings that I know that are canceled because they've been planning this for years that are gone. And so it's like there's parts of suffering that are happening to all of us in some way in this. But in this moment of counting it a joy and finding a joy, how do you find a joy in this? Like, Jeff, how would you say in a time like this, whatever that suffering may look like, what is something that you feel like, how do you count something like that a joy?
I think a lot, we talked about at the beginning, is just kind of perspective. I think of understanding where you are and what you have. I think Apostle Paul talks about it, just the godliness with contentment. Is great gain. And I think to me, when I think of how can you have joy, even in the midst of troubles and trials and persecutions, is taking a step back, or maybe even trying to take a step up and look at it a little bit from a different perspective. I love in this text when it says your endurance has a chance to grow, so let it grow.
Yeah.
Which
you get enter like the Frozen theme song, like let it grow, let it grow.
Yeah, but I think our probably default is not to let it grow, to let it go, because we want to get out of it.
That's so good.
Honestly, we want to get out of it.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking through as we're reading this, like, what's it? Not only does what it mean to have great joy in the midst of circumstance, but what does it mean also to let it grow?
Yeah.
How do you lean into that?
I think there's a couple of things. I'm sure you've heard the saying, like, count your blessings. If you'll take a moment to count your blessings according to your worries, you'll probably realize you have more that you're thankful or blessed by than you are lacking. And I also think the whole idea of letting it go is, again, that this idea of, in this time, our faith is going to be stretched. And then for something to be stretched, it allows us to endure the next thing that's going to come. This is a season. And there's going to come a time when we're out of this. And then when we hit the next thing in life, this is an opportunity for us. whatever, whether you're the high school senior, the wedding planner, your job situation.
Almost, don't waste it.
Right. Yeah.
Because I think most of the time when we're in these seasons, we don't deal with the internal or the eternal, for that matter, as much as we should. We're always focused out and not focused in, and like we do have margin, we do have opportunity. Like, don't waste this moment to grow, for your faith to increase. Because again, it's really like, as I read this, there's a lot of us where what the writer James is saying is to lean into this.
Yeah.
Like, be stretched, be challenged, allow your faith to be pushed, allow your prayers to increase. But again, most of the time, our default is to let it go, to distract ourselves, to just binge on Netflix. That's kind of, I don't know.
Well, there's always that saying I've always heard, instead of asking God, get me through this, right? Maybe we should say, God, what do you want me to learn in this? Yeah. And so if we can restate that question, what can I learn in this moment? Teach me something in this time of suffering that I think is important. I think the next thing we see in this text is in verses 5 and 8. You see a step. I think James also, as he gives you this heaviness of the counting of joy, I think he gives you a very big step to do. It says in verse 5, if you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and he will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking, but when you ask him, be sure that your faith is in God alone. Do not waver, for a person divided in loyalty is like an unsettling wave of the sea that is blown and tossed by the wind. Such people should not expect to receive anything from the Lord, and their loyalty is divided between God and the world, and they are unstable in everything that they do. This gets a little bit more heavy towards the end, but I think that he gives you this step of, why do we need wisdom? Well, we need wisdom because we have to get through this, right? And I think that with that saying of what I just said, of saying, God, instead of get me out of this or get me through this, God, just throw me a life raft here, right?
Yeah.
Instead we're going, okay, I'm in this mess. What can I learn from this? And this is why I feel like that's asking wisdom.
Yeah,
that's a wisdom question.
No.
So how do you find wisdom in this time?
No, I think for me it's identifying just an action step. It's identifying what do I need wisdom for right now?
Yeah.
And is it maybe how I respond in the midst of uncertainty, how I interact with my family? I know being quarantined is like great the first week, but then you're like, okay, Lord, like how can I respond to instability? How can I respond to difficult rhythms or no rhythms? How can I respond to annoying things that honestly, with perspective, they're not that annoying? I need wisdom in that maybe, and for me, it's asking for wisdom. Maybe how do I move wisely and biblically, financially or planning or spiritual. I feel like that. I love that. I love how that's set up there. Is you've got 2 through 4 is where we're at while we're living. Verse 5 is like an exclamation point saying, if you're here and you're leaning into it and you're letting it grow, please ask for wisdom.
Yeah, don't do this alone. And then he says in verse 6, which is very clear, like, make sure that when you do ask, when you do get to that point, Lord, don't just get me through this, teach me something in this, that your faith is in him alone, not your, and I think that I always tie this to like, not your skill set, not your job, not your house, not your title, not your bank account, like nothing else, but like when you ask him for this wisdom, make sure your faith is in him alone. And I think that when you do that, he says it very clear, the verse right before, he will not rebuke you for asking.
Yeah. And it's almost to me like as you're saying that, like it's asking, and I love it says his character, he's a generous God. Ask our generous God. But it's asking with pure motives. Yeah. Really no shadow mission, no shadow agenda. Really, you are asking for the will of the Father to be done in your life, for the help of the Father in what you're facing and what you're feeling. It's just a very pure motive, ask and prayer.
Yeah. It's like you make sure that you're coming with a genuine heart to a generous God, right?
Yeah.
Like a genuine heart to a generous God.
That's real good. I would say that I was going to ask you this because I know you you probably know this a lot better than I do, but as I read just about the development, the character that's built, the stuff that happens in us through all of this, and even our reliance and asking for wisdom. I mean, like when you talk about like weightlifting and like, isn't there a process of like a tearing down to? I mean, I don't know. I'm reading that, and I'm like, golly, this seems connected.
I mean, when you it's just like if you're gonna go to a gym, you're gonna get a gym membership. I would never advise someone to get a gym membership and just go in there and just wing it. Like you gotta right? Like you're gonna go in there, you're gonna struggle. Yeah. Like you're always gonna struggle. Like maybe it's a struggle for you to even buy the gym membership, or go to the gym in general. But when you get there, if you're gonna ask somebody for wisdom on like, hey, what's the best way to go about these goals, right? Like, and you're never gonna actually get to the full. You'll probably toil and you'll spin and you'll just. You'll flail and you'll probably end up on someone's social media page because you're doing something ridiculous. But asking somebody for wisdom in that before you seriously hurt yourself, right? I think is important. I also would wonder for you. I asked Jeff that question is like, what's something that he would need wisdom for in this season? Maybe you can do that too. This is a safe place. This is a safe way for you just to drop something in there that, hey, what are you needing wisdom for this season? Like, ask a generous God. Like, put it out here for Him. It gives all of us who see this video or read this, read that to pray for you to have that wisdom that God will give, like He says He does, because He's so generous. No. But anyway, that's what I have, and I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks, Jeff, for letting me share.
I mean, very relevant text.
Yeah,
honestly. I mean, I think a lot of what we gain through this season that we're all facing together is how we see it and what we do with it.
Right.
And awesome stuff. Why don't you, Dusty? Why don't you pray for us?
Yeah. Lord, I thank you so much. Again, I always say this. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Lord. And as we read this text, Lord, thank you for the opportunity to have a chance to grow in our faith. That the words that our faith and our endurance go hand in hand. That the middle of those faith and endurance come struggle, that we cannot grow, that our endurance will not be pushed forward, that we'll not be able to go further in our faith without struggle. So Lord, I pray that we think the struggle, that we welcome the struggle, that we sit in it long enough to ask you what we need to learn from this, rather than just, hey, throw me a life raft and get me out of here. But Lord, I pray for this, that we will sit and we will just learn in this time and give us wisdom. Lord, I pray that when we ask you for this wisdom, that we come with a genuine heart to our generous Father who sits there and says, that you will give that to us, Lord, that you will not rebuke us in the way this text says, and that we will come with you with our faith in you alone, and we will not waver from that in this season. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. No, that's good.
All right.
You know what time it is? We started last week.
There it is.
Sure, all of you are on the edge of your seats.
There it is. Let that focus in a little bit. Get my thumbs out of it. All right.
Little
Debbie's, because we don't have sports, right? This is better than axe throwing and stone skipping. So
we have moved out of the Sweet 16. We are in the grade 8.
So our first matchup is oatmeal cream pies and zebra cakes.
Oatmeal cream pies and zebra cakes. Man.
Okay, I'm going to go back to our previous point.
Okay.
Was that zebra cakes? I feel like have been recreated multiple times. Oatmeal pies are pretty. They're pretty classic.
They are classic. You say classic comes to your mind. Bland comes to mind.
Ooh.
They're just kind of, man, I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't love oatmeal cookies. That oatmeal is just not.
I do have to be in like a mood for an oatmeal cream pie.
Yeah.
I was going to go zebra cakes. Where were you going to go?
Well, the greatest form of flattery is being replicated
that's good. That's good.
People keep replicating it, man. They're not replicating it because it's bad.
That's good. Okay, so we're gonna go zebra cakes. You can always put in the comments if you disagree with us.
If you think it should be something else, let us know.
We'll go back to the footage after this is all over.
Hey, this is America. You have the right to be wrong. So, but okay.
Next
zebra
matchup.
cakes. Moving on to the final four.
Yes. Chocolate cupcakes, or chocolate, is that cupcakes?
Chocolate cupcakes.
And honey buns. So we have a 3 seed, 7 seed.
That's a hard one. That really is.
Yeah.
That feels a lot tougher.
That one's a little rough.
Because the chocolate cupcake is just, you talk about classic.
Yeah.
It's pretty classic. A little white icing on the top.
Yeah.
You can peel it off, a little peel.
Multiple ways of eating it.
Yeah.
But the versatility of a honey bun that we talked about was that you can have it for breakfast. You can have it for a late night snack.
Midnight,
you can put them in the microwave.
Those things they can sit forever, which
long term
is probably problematic, but it is versatile.
It is versatile.
Yeah.
I don't know, where are you gonna go here?
I don't know. I would probably lean to the chocolate cupcake, but
all right. So we have a toss up. I say honey bun. So this is where your comments are going to come in, and we'll decide next week, based on your comments alone, what moves on.
Yeah, it's coin flip, honey buns, chocolate cupcakes. You're going to settle it.
You settle it.
Let us know what you're thinking.
Okay, good. Next matchup is donut sticks and fudge rounds.
Now, just a little rewind.
Yeah, recap.
Donut sticks had an epic upset last week.
They did.
Knocking out the 1 seed.
Knocking out
Nutty Bar.
Yes.
And it must have been a box of Nutty Bars that was stale.
Yes.
Because I've had those.
Yes.
And but donut sticks, and we've got fudge rounds.
So the reason fudge rounds won is because we felt like the Christmas tree cakes were just zebra cakes for holiday.
Yeah.
I can't get Christmas tree cupcakes in July, and if I do, I don't want them.
If there's no zebra cakes, there'd be no Christmas tree cakes.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. Which strengthens the zebra cakes, matchup.
Fudge rounds, man. I'm not a big fan of the fudge rounds. I think you've had a little different.
I mean, I like the fudge rounds, but I feel like when I'm stuck on donut sticks are getting more versatile, and I think that you can warm them up. Someone said they can freeze them. You can put them in coffee. To me, the donut sticks will win, but we can leave that as a toss-up as well. The donut sticks also made it past the Nutty Bars because they were a fan favorite last week.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, and we'd love to hear what you say about this. I mean, I would say donut sticks.
Okay, so we both lean to donut sticks. Still would love to hear your.
Big Mo is cranking for donut sticks.
Yeah,
they figured it out. Coaching is great. Players are playing together. Yeah, I'm going to say let's move donut sticks.
All right, next matchup is the Cosmic Brownies and the Swiss Cake Rolls. Oh, no. This is, I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm going to have to plead the fifth in this one because this is my childhood. This is my fat kid 6th grade childhood wrapped into one matchup.
So you ate both those?
My boxes, not just one, boxes.
Boxes?
My mom was like, I should stop getting these, but she just continued to feed the habit.
I mean, it honestly is a travesty that out of our Sweet 16 matchups that I did not go straight to a store and buy Swiss cake rolls and freeze them just so my kids could enjoy them. I'm sorry. I will try to do that this next week. We will risk
it for the Rona.
Yeah.
To get some frozen
Swiss cake rolls. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, I kind of lean Swiss cake rolls.
Yeah.
I love them.
Versatility.
They're versatile. The little swirl cream in the middle is.
I was gonna go Swiss cake rolls.
Is just beautiful. I mean, the classic brownies are good. I mean, I would never turn one down.
Again, they're very just kind of basic and bland.
They're
not as versatile.
They are basic. They're a good in a pinch snack.
Yes.
Give me a classic Cosmic brownie, but. I mean, I see the Swiss cake rolls, and that's like gourmet dessert.
100%.
I mean,
100%.
All right, we just talked about
Swiss cake rolls.
Swiss cake rolls.
All right, so we need your input for the matchup on the honey bun and the chocolate cupcake.
Yeah.
7-3 seed. This one right here.
So here we've got we got zebra cake moving to Final Four.
Yep, upset in one.
We need your input on honey buns and chocolate cupcakes.
Yep.
We've got donut sticks moving to the Final Four.
Big Mo.
Swiss cake rolls.
The Cinderella.
The Cinderella
story.
Is rolling. Yeah.
Yep.
The butler of the tournament
Yes.
is moving. And then we've got Swiss cake rolls. So we've got 3 out of the 4 figured.
We need your help
We
on
need
this
your
one.
help to figure out who that 4th spot goes
So
to.
please comment. So
Comment chocolate
Be
cupcakes
with us.
or honey buns. We need your help. You will decide it. So, well, hey, as we kind of wind down a little bit, and we've got our stagehand in the back there.
But it's ready.
I want to let you know, and Dusty kind of spoke to it a little bit, but if there's any way we can pray for you, let us know. Comment. You know, I know we mentioned it, but seriously, and we've got a prayer team that we'll pass those on to as well. So if they're specific, or if you want to message us as well, you can do that, and we'll not only pray for them, but we'll also get them to our prayer team who is, I mean, honestly, during this time has been really on it and engaged and connected, and we'd love to be praying for you. A couple announcements just to hit the breeze through as we close. This Sunday is Easter. It's going to be a little dino.
It's here.
I don't even know what day it's Easter. And so I know it's going to feel a little different, be a little different. But I don't have Corona, guys.
Uh-oh,
Pause. Little dry throat. But be praying. We sent some mailers out this week.
Yeah.
And we're actually going to be doing a 9 and 11 a.m. online.
Yeah.
And so those of you early birds are like, why do I have to wait till 11? We're giving a 9 option.
This is your moment.
Those of you are like, gosh, 11's so early. Well, we have 1 o'clock Facebook premiere at 1 o'clock.
Have something for everybody.
So this Sunday, 9 and 11 online, and then at 1 o'clock will be the Facebook premiere. And so make sure you join us. Honestly, it's a great opportunity to invite someone to watch with you. We're really excited about the service. We're another call. We're closing out the road series this week, and we'll be excited Sunday to be able to share. Hopefully, be able to share. We're kind of pinning some stuff down. What we'll be talking about the next week, the next few weeks, series wise as well. And do you want to share anything?
Yeah.
Ministry stuff.
The most important thing I would love to highlight is that if you are a parent of an elementary student, please check out our Kids Crossing. Brenda's doing an amazing job with students at 3 o'clock on Sundays. But this week, being Easter, there's a lot of information that's going to go on that page. There's going to be some really, really fun stuff, some content that we have been able to get that's been given to us. There's going to be some really, really fun stuff that's going to be for your student, and there's going to be a story, the crucifixion story and the resurrection story told in verse to them through a great content that they can be able to watch. I think that's going to drop at 10:30, like right before it's going to drop in between the services. But you're going to need to really go follow the Kids Crossing page. If you can do that, you can find that if you just search Kids Crossing on
Kids Crossing at BCC, I think. Yeah.
On Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook, you'll be able to get that. But yeah,